Last but not least is AWS Trusted Advisor. Going to watch that video and the slides from our AWS educators. And let's define some terms. So AWS Trusted Advisor, it's a service from Amazon that helps you inspect your AWS environment and provides real-time recommendations in accordance with AWS best practices. So remember, best practices are just like industry standards, things that everyone else is doing, right? Things that you should probably do. So it provides real-time guidance to help users follow best practices in the following categories. So it could be anything from security, performance, cost efficiency, fault tolerance, and service limits. So for the checks in each category, Trusted Advisor offers a list of recommended actions and additional resources to learn more about AWS best practices. So it's just giving you a little bit of a helping hand, right, with how to use AWS in the best fashion possible. So the guidance provided by AWS Trusted Advisor can benefit your company at all stages of deployment. So maybe you're creating a new application, right? AWS Trusted Advisor can help you figure out what are the best actions you should use and which services potentially, how to use those services, right, to fulfill your business needs. So you can also use it while you're making ongoing improvements to existing applications. So you already have your application deployed for users. It can tell you, hey, here are some ways that you can make your app run better. So common uses for AWS Trusted Advisor can be for identifying publicly accessible S3 buckets. Hey, maybe this S3 bucket shouldn't be wide open, right? Go and check that out. That's not a best practice. Can help you optimize EC2 instances with low utilization. You know, you're paying for this instance. You're not using that much resources, right? That CPU percentage, for example. Maybe there's a better way so that you can save money. And then, of course, it can also help you monitor your IAM permissions. So when you access the Trusted Advisor dashboard on the management console, you can review completed checks for cost optimization, right? All those categories. It's going to run those checks and it's going to give you some either warnings, it's going to tell you some successful actions, right? Or it's going to give you some stronger potential errors, right? Or things that go against those best practices. So for each category, you're going to see that green check where there was no problems, you're doing everything right. The orange triangle, that's going to be just suggestions. Maybe it's good, maybe it's bad, right? That'll be up to you to decide. And then the red circle is going to be more on the strongly recommended actions, right? Once it's identifying that you're going against those best practices. So that's it for this module. Next up will be CloudWatch Lab, where you actually set up an alarm based on an EC2 CPU utilization usage.